you have to ask the question, why do Newcastle need Jacob Arthur?
Is he in their top 30? Is it like,
You
has
know
it
what
been a signing to...
Yeah, he's in the top 30. You know what people are saying? Brad Arthur must be coaching there next year because both Arthur boys are now there in advance of Brad Arthur coming to the club next year. That's what people are saying. Because why would they need Jake Arthur?
Yeah, I've spoken to you about this before, fellas, about the tight relationship with Adam O'Brien and the Arthur family.
What?
Adam is actually...
What?
Yeah,
What? So, but hang on. So what?
Oh, no.
So what if, but seriously,
let me finish.
David.
Order.
David,
Let's go.
I will let you finish, but this is getting a little bit weird, isn't it? Okay, so his friend, his dad are friends, so we'll get him to the club.
Top 30.
Why?
Mate, I'm not saying we're just handing out contracts to friends. What I'm saying is...
It would seem like it.
Yes, no, I understand that. But what I'm saying is there's clearly a trust there through that tight relationship. And I don't think it's got anything to do with what I'm saying is I don't think it's got anything to do with Brad Arthur potentially replacing Adam O'Brien. I've got no doubt Adam definitely sees out this season.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've got no indication that he'll be...
So where does Jacob Arthur fit? Let's get back to the original question.
Why
Why do Newcastle need Jacob Arthur in their roster, given they've had 75 different halves combinations? Where does Jacob Arthur... And they don't need another hooker.
It does seem bizarre.
Where does Jacob Arthur fit into the top 30?
Thinking,
why do they think they need him?
What do we need? What do we need before June 30? Okay, well, let's go Jacob Arthur.
Another half.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has to be middle forwards. It has to be middle forwards. I just can't get my head around how this footy club can't identify where they're going to struggle next year when we talk about the loss of Leo Thompson. We know that Saifiti went to the Dolphins. And it's in the area of their pack that they've been found thin at times this year. Yes, they've uncovered a couple of the talented young rookies coming through. They've done a good job, held their gloves up, but it's always been in the forward pack that has been the concern for me. It surprises me too, boys. I can't answer the question on where he's going to play because I think it's New South Wales Cup in the halves. That's where he's going to play.
But they've even got surplus. They've got surplus to demand for New South Wales Cup. Like they don't need another half with what they got. Oh, Jackson Hastings only played 2 games this year. He's been... now, Talon De Silva, some Tigers fans were saying, okay, so Parramatta... did the Tigers... there was some suggestion Kai Pearce-Paul, could they get him out of Newcastle into there? The Tigers got nothing coming back their way. I know it's not from the club that Talon De Silva's gone to, but were the Tigers in the mix to pick up anyone before June 30 to help their cause? Now they've lost they've lost Galvin and they've lost Talon De Silva from their top 30 roster at the start of the year.
This is a dead-set head-scratcher. It's a head-scratcher. Even the most passionate Tigers fan would have to contemplate how this has unfolded in the scenario where Api Coruscant's not playing or he's unavailable due to a HIA. There is nothing... we don't know what the future holds as far as... And we don't... I hope Api Coruscant stays fit and healthy. But one injury, and they are so thin in their spine, the West Tigers, and here they have let go Talon De Silva immediately. I see no benefit whatsoever in doing that. Shane Richardson has come out and said that it was a promise to Talon De Silva's parents that if we were going to keep Api Coruscant, then we would let him go. I just feel like as a football club, this club needs to start to stand up for itself. And make decisions in the best interests of the club. There's no rush for Talon De Silva to get to Parramatta. Why? There's none.
Yeah.
He can stay the season at the West Tigers and then go to Para if that's the decision the club wants to make.
Yeah.
I just find this surprising and disappointing because here we are in a situation where the Tigers are letting go one of their a player that they've helped develop to a point of which he's now ready for NRL. And for me, I just can't understand the long-term vision. These are short-term vision calls. Really, it is. And it's all in the benefit of Benji Marshall, which I can understand. He needs wins. And you probably have a better chance of getting wins with Api Coruscant in the team. more experienced, outstanding player. But beyond that, what does the future look like for the West Tigers? I don't know.
What do you reckon Parramatta are paying him, roughly? What would you think the ballpark figure is for Tally?
Hey, I will say, my understanding is it averages out at $650,000 a season.
Ooh,
I don't believe that's certainly not what they're paying him next season.
No.
It averages out over the term of the deal, 4 years, 4.5.
Okay.
For $650. Now that's significant money, no doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt, that's big money.
Yeah.
For a player that's isn't NRL without NRL experience. So look, this may turn the Tigers' way that Talon doesn't kick. But certainly, you talk to enough good people in the game, good judges in the game, and there's a lot of hope around Talon da Silva.
It is team list Tuesday, but the Tigers are going to come up with the side today with no
Appy,
Coruscant, no Luai, Da Silva left, Mason
injured.
Took the suspension,
Buller
injured. What's their spine look like today? The Tigers.
Oh. Yeah.
Noel Mabry, Ben Elias playing hooker. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, it's scary.
Yes. Cameron Smith. Do you think he gets the job?
It was our hot topic today. We said if Cameron wants the job, David, our belief is, well, there won't even be a second person interviewed. Is that the way you're thinking?
Yeah. Well, it's quite interesting, fellas, that here we are 4 months out from a test match, and there is no test coach in this scenario due to the fact that Brad Fittler knocked back the job. He spoke about it yesterday in relation to wanting to focus on his Channel 9 commentary commitments. He indicated that during his time as a State of Origin coach, Ashley found it quite tricky trying to juggle the two commitments, the Channel 9 commitments and also coaching Origin, and it just felt as though didn't want to. Yeah, what are you laughing at, Ray?
I'm laughing at, especially when during the Origin games they cross to the box. One of the all-time just howling sort of moments. But I'm just joking. That was was only a 2-minute cross. But I can understand that.
What a fascinating insight that always is into that coach's box. It's just brilliant TV.
It's fun.
The viewer just gets so much out of it. Yeah,
I know. And
so
Queensland had just scored, so let's cross to New South Wales coach's box and let's go.
Queenslanders.
Anyway, so what are you thinking? What do you hear?
Yeah, look, I'm with you guys. With you guys. I think if Cameron Smith indicates that he wants the job, he'll get the job. Kevin Walder's name has come up, guys. We know that Kevy was a
Kevy's Origin coach,
sensational test player. Yeah,
so,
he's coached at rep level. But really beyond that, the thing is, guys, the RL Commission still have a rule in place that the preference is to select a standalone coach, a coach not aligned with an NRL club. So it does rule out a lot of other applicants.
And State of Origin coaches aren't allowed to coach, are they? So, like, if Billy Slater said, you know what, he'd have to remove himself from the Queensland side if he said, you know what, I want to coach the Kangaroos and I'm ready to go on this Kangaroo
But if he won
this
series, that's what I'm saying. We're only a week away from the Origin commitment being over. Billy Slater might say, well, I've done my time here. Now I'm putting my hand up for this one.
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility of that. He can certainly do that.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But I feel as though, certainly from the ARL, NRL point of view, is that they want to have separate coaches. One State of Origin.
Yep.
Test coach is test coach. So, look, I think you can lock in Cameron as being the front runner.
Yeah. Okay. And Tamari Martin, Tamari Martin will be named, but as the half, you would think. I know there's Tanner Boyd is also there, but for the Warriors, but it's a big blow for the Warriors who. Now with the injuries,
they have the bye. So they've got 2 weeks to let it settle.
Yes, but still
a shock, isn't it?
Does that put them on shaky ground for a top 4 finish?
It's really interesting, guys. I spoke to the Warriors yesterday. I spoke to the Warriors throughout this period of understanding Luke Metcalf's injury, the torn ACL, now out for the season. And I was talking to them about whether they would really press the go button before June 30 on trying to find an answer. Do they try and replenish any position in their squad? And the answer came back no. They are very, very confident. They are certainly not waving the white flag. Let's not beat around the bush. This is a significant blow. This is a huge blow. And on top of Mitch Barnett's torn ACL, mind you. So, but what they said was that we have ample depth, quality stocks in our roster to fill the void, and we won't be going to market. As far as coverage from Metcalf, you're right, Brandy. They do have Tamari Martin. They have Tanner Boyd, who's been highly impressive in New South Wales Cup, and obviously Chanel Harris-Tavita. They've got options. Vossi's right. They'll use the bye period to get some work done and work out what they do going forward. But no doubt, this is a significant blow.
You've had a little go at Cleary too about his non-kicking.
Well,
Nathan Cleary's come under. Well,
okay, I'll give you the hypothetical, folks. If you missed it at the top of the program. Okay, here's the scenario. Penrith are in the grand final. Nathan Cleary, would he be taking the shots at goal? Answer the question.
Are you asking me or
Deputy
do you just
Chair of Penrith? Would he be taking the shots at goal? And I'm saying next week's an Origin decider. It's just as big. If it's just as big, it's the biggest you play in rep footy. It's an Origin decider. You risk it, don't you?
Not if he's going to re-injure that. Not if he's going to re-injure
so
that.
So you wouldn't
groin.
be kicking in a grand final for Penrith. You wouldn't be taking the first shot.
That's
sidelines.
I don't want to speculate.
Well, I'm just saying. Just putting it. It's not a criticism.
Well, 789 says, tell me how
Scenario.
Cleary can juice a ball in general play 60 metres, but can't kick for goal. What a cop out.
Well, no,
different muscles.
Talk to us.
Different muscles.
Talk to us seriously.
What,
so
straight
what are you
on?
doing? Yeah,
straight on.
Yep,
so if
yep,
you're
yep.
kicking the ball straight on, let's say kicking downfield, putting a bomb up, crossfield kick, it's all straight on. Hips are straight.
Okay.
But when you're kicking around the corner, goal kicking,
Yep.
you are swiveling and bringing in those inside muscles on the kicking leg, the adductor muscles come into play.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good description from Brandy. So he is explaining. And look, it's not being narky. I'm just putting it out there that I, as a fan,
do you want me to
I
keep
would
going?
feel safer. And I know he didn't kick well in game one, but he's the best kicker. He may be arguably the best ever.
Kicking
he's
at
only,
90%.
He's only missed 4 kicks this year. They've all been from the left touchline in the NRL. He hasn't missed from the right touchline. The first kick comes up from the right touchline. I want Nathan Cleary taking the shot.
Yeah, I do too. I do too, but he's not.
And if it was Penrith in the grand final, he would be taking the shot. That's my point.
I'm biting down on the mouth guard.
Well, let's go. Let's go Nora on Origin. Let's go now. There was a hypothetical. See, Joel and Fletch are probers, no gloves, which doesn't come as any surprise. No. There's no gloves when they probe. Now they got Laurie Daly backed into a corner yesterday. They backed him into a corner. Laurie was sort of screaming, "Where do I go?" Couldn't get out. They said, "Damn you, man! If Cleary was out." And Laurie said, well, he's not out. No, but they said if he's out, because he's not fit, if he wasn't fit, what would you do? Laurie Daly, let's hear his answer.
We'll put it this way. We've got 2 options.
Yes. Yep.
As it stands. We could move Jerome into 7 and Matty Burton.
Yep.
We could bring Matty Burton in. Or there's a young boy that's joining us in camp, Isaiah Katoa, who's playing really good football for the Dolphins. So, he's going to be with us in camp, and he's another option if something unfortunately happened. But we're not expecting that.
Good probing. Probing. Got an answer out of him. Got a plan A and a plan B.
Okay. So
or a plan A
Burton,
or a plan A asterisk.
which could be
What do you think they would
tinkered
do?
with.
Well, let's talk. Let's explore. What would you do if that happened? I'm not playing Luai at 7.
No,
I'm
probably
really not.
No, I watched Katoa again yesterday when I got home, and I just watched some of his movements. And over the years, you got your playmakers like Thurston and Cherry Evans, particularly.
Yep.
Thurston and Cherry Evans had this instinctive dummy. They'd throw a dummy without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And for a couple of reasons, just to give themselves time to think. Now JT could be. He could be sort of pushing up with a forward, second face play forward to pop the ball back to him. JT could be surrounded by defenders, in that situation where a forward might just hit the line and pop the ball back to the halfback who's standing there, but he's standing still, catches the ball. JT will automatically throw a dummy.
Right.
It just happens. I've seen him catch bombs surrounded by people, catch a ball and throw a dummy immediately. And it just gave him time to react because throwing a dummy makes the defence
also made
stop.
them just stop. Yeah.
The defence stops.
Very good.
Now, Daly Cherry Evans was very good at it too. Not that they don't even think about doing it.
Mm.
Cherry Evans would often double pump, and he still does it. The double pump Cherry Evans the first pump just to slow them, just to stop them and see what's going on. Now, I watched Isaiah Katoa yesterday, and the thing that has come into halfback play that's very important, and it's engaging those A and B defenders. It's creating space for your outside men because a lot of it is set up. It's almost choreographed. It's almost like a dance move. What Isaiah Katoa does, the steps, the movement, the feet, the foot movement, and he will engage defenders at a different. And he plays at different speeds. He'll slow down and then he'll speed up. He'll slow down, but he plays direct. But he plays in to play out, and he plays out to play in. So what he does, if he's going to play in, he'll make it look like he's going out, but then just move. It's only slight movements. They're only slight movements. That he's not moving far, but his eyes and his body are selling that he's going out.
I think I want to see him in Origin 3, the way you're talking.
And then he comes back in and plays inside pass. Now, he made a break, and he's made a couple of breaks in recent games where he gets through the front line of defence, and then he's had a fullback rush him, and he automatically looks like, even though the support play is not on the inside, he will shape like he's going to play in. This is in the clear. This is so he looks like he's playing in, but then at the last moment switches and picks up Hammer on the outside. But he does it like naturally, automatically, instinctively. So, and I've always spoken about Thurston and Cherry Evans, they're instinctive dummies. Well, this is instinctive in Isaiah Katoa. In and out, play in, look in, play out. And a couple of the passes that he's thrown over the last few weeks have been
exquisite.
Incredible.
This is a great rap, folks, from one of the terrific playmakers of years gone by, Mr. Greg Alexander, talking about a young halfback, Isaiah Katoa.
See,
what do you feel, Faye? I want him now to play. I want to see Katoa on the Origin stage now. I'm impatient. I can't wait another year. It's got to be now.
So there was I think there was a story in yesterday's paper, and they said, well, Isaiah Katoa is the best player since Brad Fittler. Don't forget, so Brad Fittler played Origin like Robert Toya. 10 games into his career. Brad Fittler, he debuted at the back end of
Melbourne, wasn't it? Olympic Park.
Yes. Debuted at the back end of 89, like in the last regular season game, played a couple of semi-finals.
Ron Willie
pushed Chris Mortimer out of 5'8". Freddie played 5'8" as a rookie, and then by 10 rounds into the comp in 1990, made his Origin debut. And you know why Freddie could handle Origin as a 18-year-old? Because he was tough. He was tougher than people thought he gave him credit for. He could handle the Origin arena physically. Katoa could handle it easy.
Well,
he could handle it because he's big and he's strong, and he
could he play 5'8"? I'm throwing that out there because now Jerome Luai and is it a boil or was it an infection? I'll let you think about that. I'm throwing a dummy there, so I'll let you think about it. It's good Katoa play 5'8", because Luai is coming off injury. Didn't play for the Tigers last Friday night. This is Jerome talking about his boil/infection.
It was a big puffball, red and stuff, so admitted to hospital and tried to get the antibiotics in, let it do its thing, but it was a bit worse than what I thought.
3 nights he had in hospital. 3 nights in a hospital.
Yeah, wow, that's serious. Oh, that's serious.
Because it gets in your blood system. It can be obviously was serious to fight that infection spreading out, and that sort of thing, and you end up with blood clots and all the rest. So now a massive hypothetical. I'm sort of going the Joel Fletch. So, okay, what if Luai pulled out? What if 5'8" pulled out? And Katoa's there training with the side and you've just wrapped him deluxe. Would you even be tempted to play him 5'8" and not bring a Matt Burton in?
No, I'd bring Matt Burton in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's a sensible conversation.
I know. But Matt Burton deserves
So
to...
Katoa's there
deserves
as a 7 and nothing else. And
I would think so.
And if anything happened to the 5'8", Burton would be next cab off the rank in this instance.
I think he would.
Yeah.
I think he would.
All right. Okay, that's where we're at there. Also on Origin, Billy Slater, the Gimat Shibasaki story. We are going to play it again. Billy, talking about Gimat Shibasaki. He is a Queenslander. Let's play it.
Gamet's story is an inspiration. Only 6 months ago, he was on a train and trial contract at the Broncos, playing Queensland Cup up in Townsville. I told him last night, you need two things to play for Queensland. The first one is you need to be capable. You need to have the habits in your game that are at the standard of this footy team. And the second one, you need the opportunity to be put in front of you. And those two things presented itself over the weekend. And Gamet Shibasaki is going to play his first game for Queensland. It'll be a dream come true for the young lad from Townsville.
There we go. Now, there's a part 2 to it.
He's ready. He's ready.
Big Papa's return. Billy Slater, it was confirmed yesterday. Everything was leaked out. Josh Papali'i is back in Origin.
Yeah, look, it's probably something that I've had in the back of my mind, for a couple of years now. In particular this year, the way that Big Papa's been playing for Canberra and, the performance he's been putting in, he's been doing a great job there. And, I thought that this team could benefit from a bit of Josh Papali'i. And now I was a little bit unsure of the response I'd get. I spoke to Papa. The response was pretty much where my head was at, which was fantastic. And it just shows you that he's still got that fire to play for this footy team. He's got that fire to represent the people of Queensland.
No.
Yes. No, well done. Well said.
We're still Queenslanders.
Yes.
Corey Horsburgh must be unlucky, though. I'm going to say this, and there's a lot of love in the room for Big Papa, quite obviously. But
is he
I don't
part
know
of
whether
the squad at all? Like, is he 18th, 19th,
this time
20th?
he is. I don't think he is this
He's
time
missed
round.
out?
I just think Corey Horsburgh's form at club level. I think his contribution to the Raiders, and they've all been great, so don't say this is criticism of Josh. No, Josh has been fantastic, quite obviously. Tarpany's been the premier forward. I think if I was ranking the Canberra forwards for contribution to the effort, I've got Tarpany 1, Horsburgh dead heat 2nd with Hudson Young, then Big Papa.
Yeah,
I think Horsburgh's been, and they're all, way above average, like massive contribution. I think Horsburgh's form's been great.
Yeah, okay, but and you might just put him ahead of Papa for Canberra, but I wouldn't. I'd be picking Papali'i.
Yeah,
I think it's a good selection. And Papa's been playing good enough to
and others around him and the leadership, all of those things.
He'll be tough.
But I'm just talking about deserving selection just in isolation. I think Corey Horsburgh was very unlucky to not have played any part in this year's Origin series. Very unlucky.
Blue Willie says, grand final is the last game of the season, Andrew. How can you even begin to compare a mid-season game?
This is the last Origin game of the season. It's the last Origin game of the season. Come on.
I'm thinking that he doesn't want to aggravate the groin and then it affect him through the game.
You know, Michael, doctors say a proper breakfast includes eggs, bacon and breakfast with Fossey and Brandy. So get your daily fix through our socials and listen live on SEN Radio.